Hey coin collectors and treasure hunters, did you know that some of the in-your-pocket change could be worth a fortune today? We are diving into the top high-value $quarter and wheat pennies coins that could be worth millions of dollars. Stick around to see if you have one of these rare coins hiding in your collection. Old, and watch it all. First up, coin 1 number. Year 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, no mint mark. Complete research guide, errors, values, and auction history. Coin profile. Coin name, Lincoln Wheat Penny. Year 1944. Mint mark, none, Philadelphia Mint. Series, Lincoln Wheat Cents, 1909-1958. Designer, Victor David Brenner. Composition, 95% copper, 5% zinc, and tin, recycled wartime shell case brass. Weight, 3.11 grams. Diameter, 19.05. Edge plain. Mintage, 1,435,400,000. Introduction. The most valuable treasures are often the ones hiding in plain sight. Millions of Americans have handled a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without realizing they were touching a small piece of World War II history. At first glance, the 1944 penny appears ordinary. It is a simple copper coin carrying the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the classic Wheatear reverse. But beneath that humble appearance lies one of the most fascinating stories in American numismatics. The 1944 wheat penny marks the return of copper coinage after the famous 1943 steel cent experiment. It represents America's wartime recovery, industrial power, and determination during one of the most important years in modern history. For collectors, it also offers the possibility of discovering rare varieties, dramatic mint eras, and one of the most famous transitional era coins ever produced. Historical background. The year was 1944. World War II was still raging across Europe and the Pacific. American factories operated around the clock. Millions of soldiers were serving overseas. The D-Day invasion would take place in June of that year. Every metal resource mattered. In 1943, copper was diverted to military production, leading the U.S. Mint to strike Lincoln cents on zinc-coated steel planchets. The steel cents served their purpose, but the public disliked them. They rusted. They were often confused with dimes. Vending machines frequently rejected them. By 1944, the mint returned to copper alloy coinage. However, wartime shortages remained. Instead of using newly mined copper, the mint relied heavily on recycled shell casings from military ammunition. As a result, every genuine 1944 wheat penny carries a direct connection to the American war effort. That historical connection remains one of the biggest reasons collectors continue searching for these coins today. But the next discovery is even more surprising. Coin SBCIFICATONS. The 1944 Philadelphia wheat penny was struck without a mint mark. Above him appears "In God We Trust." Because this coin was produced in Philadelphia, no mint mark appears beneath the date. The reverse features EPLUIBUS UNUM 1 cent United States of America. 2 wheat ears framing the design. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Diameter measures 19.05 millimeters. Composition consists primarily of copper recovered from wartime shell cases. Victor David Brenner's design had already become one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. Visual inspection guide. Imagine holding a freshly discovered 1944 wheat penny. The first thing many collectors notice is the color. Original examples often display rich reddish-orange copper tones. Others show deep brown surfaces developed through decades of circulation. Look carefully at Lincoln's cheekbone. Excessive wear appears first on the highest points. Inspect the jawline. Examine the hair above Lincoln's ear. These areas reveal valuable grading clues. Next, inspect the reverse. The wheat lines should remain sharp and distinct. Strong details often indicate a higher quality strike. Look for original mint luster. When rotated beneath a light source, uncirculated examples display the famous cartwheel effect collectors love. Pay close attention to scratches, harsh cleaning, chemical damage, artificial toning. These issues can significantly reduce collector value. Most people never notice these details, but collectors do, and the difference can mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collector demand. Why do collectors actively seek the 1944 wheat penny? Several reasons. First, it represents a major historical transition from steel back to copper. Second, it was produced during World War II. Third, many collectors build complete wheat cent collections. Finally, high-grade examples remain surprisingly difficult to locate despite the enormous mintage. Most coins entered circulation immediately. Decades of handling reduced the number of pristine survivors. Registry set collectors constantly compete for the finest certified examples. This creates significant demand for premium specimens, especially examples graded MS66 red and above. Errors and VOATIS. This is where things become interesting. 1944 steel cent error. The most famous 1944 error occurred when leftover 1943 steel planchets accidentally entered 1944 production. The result was a 1944 dated Lincoln cent struck on a steel planchet. These coins are among the most famous transitional errors in U.S. history. Authentication is absolutely required. A genuine 1944 steel cent is extraordinarily rare. Most examples known today have been certified by PCGS or NGC. Many have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Some exceptional examples have realized over $100,000 at auction. Authentication is critical because counterfeits are common. 1944 double die varieties. Several documented double die varieties exist. Collectors examine DATELIBRTYIN God WE Trust. Strong examples display visible doubling under magnification. Values vary significantly depending on grade and visibility. Die cracks, raised lines created by fractured dies occasionally appear. Major die cracks attract collector attention. Off-center strikes. Off-center examples remain popular. Coins showing clear dates with substantial off-center strikes often command strong premiums. Broad strikes. Broad-struck examples occurred when the collar failed during striking. These errors are collectible and highly visible. Clipped planchets. Occasionally, blank planchets were improperly cut. Resulting clips create curved missing sections along the edge. Collectors actively seek dramatic examples. But the next discovery changes everything. GRADING importance. Professional grading dramatically influences value. The two most respected services are PCGS, NGC. Collectors evaluate wear, strike, luster, surface preservation, color, eye appeal. Color designations include brown BN, red-brown RB, red RD. Red examples generally command the highest premiums. A common circulated coin may be worth only a modest amount. An MS-67 red example can be worth dramatically more. Condition rarity drives prices. Population rarity drives competition. And competition drives auction results. Auction analysis. Values constantly change. Always verify recent auction records before publishing. Typical market categories. Circulated examples. Generally trade for modest collector premiums. AU examples. Often sell for higher prices due to strong detail retention. MS examples. Value increases rapidly with grade. Red examples command the strongest premiums. Error examples. Transitional steel cents and major errors attract substantial collector interest. Record sales. The most famous auction records belong to authenticated 1944 steel cent errors. These rare transitional pieces have realized six-figure prices at major auction houses. Always verify current records through PCGS Coin Facts, NGC, Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, Stax Bowers. No documented evidence currently confirms any ordinary 1944 Philadelphia wheat penny reaching similar values without a major error or extraordinary condition rarity. Authentication guide. Before assuming value, verify the date. Verify the absence of a mint mark. Check weight. Inspect the metal. Use magnification. If a 1944 penny is attracted to a magnet, it may warrant further investigation because normal copper examples are not magnetic. Never clean the coin. Cleaning permanently damages original surfaces. Store coins properly in archival holders. Consider PCGS or NGC certification for potentially valuable examples. Selling guide. Collectors commonly sell through Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, Stax Bowers Galleries, Major Coin Shows, Professional numismatic dealers. Certified coins generally achieve stronger prices because authenticity and grade have been verified. Research comparable sales before selling. Knowledge remains one of the most valuable tools in numismatics. Conclusion. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is far more than a 1-cent coin. It is a surviving artifact from World War II. It represents America's transition away from the famous steel cent experiment. It tells the story of a nation at war recycling military materials to support commerce at home. Most examples are affordable collectibles. A few contain rare varieties, and an extraordinarily small number represent some of the most famous mint errors in American coinage history. Every collection deserves a second look. Every coin deserves careful examination. Because hidden treasures still exist. Knowledge creates opportunity. History survives through coins. And sometimes, a single overlooked wheat penny can completely change how someone sees their collection forever. Next up. The 1977 D. Washington Quarter, the hidden treasure most collectors overlook. Have you ever spent a quarter without looking at it? Most Americans have. Millions of quarters pass through cash registers, vending machines, parking meters, and coin jars every single day. They are so common that almost nobody stops to examine them. But hidden among those ordinary coins is one issue that continues to surprise collectors decades after it left the United States Mint. The 1977 D. Washington Quarter. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. No silver shine. No famous commemorative design. No obvious rarity. Just a quarter struck at the Denver Mint during the late 1970s. But as every experienced coin collector knows, the most dangerous treasures are often the ones hiding in plain sight. And while most 1977 D quarters are worth exactly 25 cents, certain examples have sold for hundreds of dollars, while rare mint-era specimens can bring even stronger premiums. Today we're diving deep into the history, specifications, collector demand, grading standards, documented errors, auction records, and hidden secrets of the 1977 D Washington quarter. And before this video ends, you may find yourself running to your coin jar to check every quarter you own. Because the real treasure may still be ahead. Historical background. To understand this coin, we need to travel back to 1977. America was emerging from a difficult decade. The Vietnam War had ended. The Watergate era was over. Inflation remained a major concern. Energy shortages and economic uncertainty had changed everyday life. Meanwhile, the United States Mint faced its own challenge. The nation needed enormous quantities of circulating coinage. Vending machines, businesses, banks, and consumers demanded billions of coins. As a result, the Mint focused on producing quarters as efficiently as possible. In Denver alone, more than 256 million Washington quarters were struck in 1977. That massive production run explains why most people assume the coin can never be valuable. After all, how could a coin with such a huge mintage be rare? The answer is condition. And that changes everything. But first, let's look at the coin itself. Coin SBCIFICATONS. The 1977 D Washington quarter belongs to the Washington Quarter series designed by John Flanagan. The coin features weight 5.67 grams, diameter 24.3 millimeters, reeded edge, Denver Mint production, copper core with outer copper-nickel layers, mintage of 256,524,978 pieces. One important fact collectors often misunderstand. The 1977 D quarter is not a silver quarter. Regular circulation strike 1977 D quarters were struck in copper-nickel clad composition, not silver. If someone claims a normal 1977 D quarter contains silver, no documented evidence currently confirms that claim. On the obverse, George Washington faces left. Above his head appears Liberty. The date 1977 sits below. The small D mint mark appears near the ribbon beneath Washington's neck. On the reverse, an eagle stands proudly with wings spread. Olive branches rest below. The denomination quarter dollar appears beneath the eagle. It's a design Americans carried for generations. But the next discovery is even more surprising. Visual inspection guide. Imagine holding a 1977 D quarter under a bright LED light. What should you examine? Start with the surfaces. A heavily circulated example will show wear on Washington's hair, cheek, and jawline. The eagle's breast feathers on the reverse may appear flat. Most coins found in circulation today fall into this category. Now look for original mint luster. Collectors often describe luster as a cartwheel effect. When the coin rotates under light, bands of brightness move across the surface. This effect disappears as wear increases. Next, examine scratches, cleaning marks, rim damage, environmental corrosion, stains, discoloration. Cleaning is particularly dangerous. A cleaned coin may appear shiny, but experienced collectors recognize the unnatural appearance immediately. Many cleaned coins lose significant collector value. Most people never notice this tiny detail. But advanced collectors spend years studying surface quality because condition often determines whether a coin is worth 25 cents or hundreds of dollars. And that's where things become interesting. Why collectors want the 1977D? The 1977D quarter isn't famous because it's rare. It's famous because high-grade examples are difficult to locate. Think about what happened. Hundreds of millions entered circulation. Almost all were spent. Almost all received contact marks. Almost all developed wear. Finding a pristine survivor decades later becomes surprisingly difficult. Registry set collectors compete aggressively for the finest certified examples. They want coins with strong strikes, original luster, minimal contact marks, exceptional eye appeal. The higher the grade climbs, the fewer examples exist. That competition drives prices. Not because the coin is rare overall, because the finest examples are rare. And that distinction changes everything. Documented errors and VAOETIS. Now we reach the section treasure hunters love most. Errors. But accuracy matters. No documented evidence currently confirms any major blockbuster double-die variety comparable to famous issues, such as the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent. That does not mean valuable errors don't exist. Collectors actively search for off-center strikes. These occur when the blank planchet is misaligned during striking. The result is a partially missing design. Value depends heavily on percentage off-center and visibility of the date. Broad strikes. A coin struck without proper collar containment. The coin appears larger than normal. Clipped planchets. Part of the metal blank is missing before striking. Wrong planchet errors. Extremely rare pieces struck on planchets intended for other denominations. Die cracks. Raised lines caused by cracks in the die. Struck through errors. Foreign material becomes trapped between die and planchet. These create unusual surface impressions. Most people never notice these mint-made mistakes. Collectors know exactly what they're looking for. And authenticated examples often command substantial premiums. The real treasure may still be ahead. GOADING and condition. This is where fortunes are made. And where fortunes are lost. Professional grading companies such as Professional Coin Grading Service, Numismatic Guarantee Company, evaluate coins using a standardized scale. For the 1977 D quarter, circulated grades are common. AU about uncirculated examples are available. Mint state examples become increasingly desirable. MS65 examples display strong eye appeal. MS66 examples are tougher. MS67 examples become significantly scarcer. Top population coins attract intense registry competition. This explains why two visually similar quarters can have dramatically different values. A single grade point can make a substantial difference. What happened next stunned collectors. Auction analysis. Let's discuss documented market performance. Most circulated 1977 D quarters remain worth face value. Uncirculated examples may carry modest collector premiums. Certified high-grade examples tell a different story. PCGS reports an auction record of approximately $460 for a 1977 D quarter graded MS67. Documented auction sales have also included PCGS MS67 example selling for $275 through great collections. Another PCGS MS67, example realizing $325 at auction. These aren't million-dollar coins. They don't need to be. The lesson is that condition creates value. An ordinary quarter becomes a desirable collectible when preserved at an exceptional level. Accuracy always matters more than sensationalism. Authentication guide. If you discover an unusual 1977 D quarter, never clean it. Verify the date carefully. Verify the mint mark carefully. Use magnification. Compare potential errors with documented references. Handle only by the edges. Store in a protective holder. Consider professional authentication if the coin appears exceptionally high grade. You suspect a genuine mint error. Comparable certified examples sell for meaningful premiums. Professional certification provides confidence for both buyers and sellers. Selling guide. If you own a noteworthy example collectors commonly use. Heritage auctions. Great collections. Stack's Bowers galleries. You can also explore major coin shows, professional coin dealers, online marketplaces, collector forums. Certified examples generally attract stronger buyer confidence. Before selling, research recent comparable sales. Never rely solely on internet rumors. And remember, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Conclusion. The 1977 D. Washington quarter proves one of the most important lessons in coin collecting. Value does not always come from rarity. Sometimes it comes from preservation. Sometimes it comes from condition. Sometimes it comes from a tiny mint error that most people overlook. Hundreds of millions of these quarters were struck. Yet collectors still search for the finest survivors. That means valuable discoveries can still happen. Knowledge creates opportunity. History survives through coins. Every collection deserves a second look. So tonight, check your coin albums. Check your inherited collections. Check your old jars. Check your safe deposit boxes. Because the next great discovery might already be sitting in your home. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share your discoveries below. And most importantly, keep searching. Thank you. See you in next video. Please subscribe to my channel Old Penny Worth.